All right, Nick. Top of the ninth. And you know what that means. Reds are on the road and we are live. Means they are trailing in the ninth.
You got to give him
3.
You got to give him another run.
Lead 3-0. 9-1-2 due up for the Reds. That is McLean, Friedel, Andujar. A's scoring all 3 of their runs on solo home runs. Cincinnati unable to do much of anything with runners on base. We'll get into all that later on in the show. Sean Newcomb in for the A's, the pride of the University of Hartford. If you know, you know. Are ahead of McLean 0-2. McLean fouls it back again. What's up, buddy? How we doing Friday night? No place you'd rather be, right?
No place I'd rather be than here on Chatterbox Reds.
Oh, man.
Man, when Friedel and Lux walked to lead off the game after the Mets just lost, man, I don't think the vibes could have been higher. Ugh. Yep, keep grinding.
McLean takes that one down, 2-2. You're probably ahead of me, I would assume.
Yeah, we're still due. We're still due a couple games. We're still due a couple, at least.
Another foul away by McLean. Keeps it at 2-2. Well, at least this game started late enough that you didn't have the distraction of children and all the other things.
Yeah, you know, I don't
have anything tonight.
Yeah, I don't have anything going on. You know, trying to get ready to take a couple weeks off. You know, it's super slow. I don't have to run social medias while I try to do a show. I don't have to do anything else. It's easy night, easy
night. McLean down looking. Newcomb paints the corner, down and in. Gets him. I almost forgot that I have to run the J-bar, but knowing how tonight is going, I probably won't have to do a whole lot other than change it to final, Nick.
15 games to play after this?
I don't know, man.
Sounds right.
Such an opportunity. You're a game back. Mets 7 straight losses.
Yeah. You just have to think they're gonna get hot at some point too. I mean, or at least play decent at some point.
Yeah. Even if they don't get hot, just even playing 500 baseball at this point with the way the Reds have been playing would probably get them into the playoffs. So Reds are not doing themselves any favors. Meanwhile, the Giants are tied in the bottom of the ninth with the Dodgers. Julio Ramos at the plate, nobody out, runner on first base.
It feels kind of important now. I didn't really think about the Giants. I didn't want to. Yeah, it's getting pretty important, I guess. Jeez.
Yep. Scoreboard watching all over the league. Friedel swings and misses, out number 2. And Newcomb 2 up, 2 down for the A's. In San Francisco, Luis Matos reached on a throwing error by Mookie Betts, but we don't talk about shortstop errors, do we, Nick? Andujar swings and misses at strike 1. Willie Adames now at the plate. Runners on first and third after Rafi Devers singles to right field. Willie Adames with a chance to send it home for the Giants. What just happened? Did that hit Andujar and he swung at it?
Yeah, that's what they called it.
That's what they call it. Looks like he swung.
You got to give the A's an extra run, though, brother.
Who started this whole thing?
Well, it was 2-0. I exited out.
All right, well, it's 3-0 now, and we can do a show.
The bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes Clemente. And the save. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. He scored. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Boston. The Reds win the pennant. Perkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Landa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatteberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb. Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again. The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Win! Line into right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed the no-hitter. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
I don't really know how else to react to that game other than just yet another disappointing night for the Reds, Nick. I was looking forward to doing the show with you tonight, your last show before you go on paternity leave. Our first show together in seemingly months, if not all year. I can't even remember the last time we did a post-game show together. It's been a long, long time, and the Reds give us the gift of a 3-0 loss. 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They leave 11 men on base, Nick. Just not a good night to be a Reds offensive player, is it?
No, not a fun night of baseball. But as always, thank God for the New York Mets.
Thank God for the New York Mets. The Mets win losers earlier today. Take a look real quick at the NL wildcard scores before we get into this. The last update here I'll make before we put this graphic up. The Dodgers and Giants, Luis Matos was just thrown out at the plate on an attempted sacrifice fly to end the ninth. They are headed to extra innings in San Francisco. 1-1 is the score there with the Dodgers. Meanwhile, basically everything else that you needed to have happen outside of the Giants game happened for the Reds today. The Rockies defeat the Padres 4-1. That Padres team still kind of wavering a little bit. The Rangers defeat the Mets 8-3. Plus the Twins, after giving up 4 runs in the top of the ninth to the Arizona Diamondbacks, come back and win it themselves. They win 9-8. You get what you need across the league, Nick, and yet here you are. You can't come up with the win that you need yourself. I don't know how much scoreboard watching is really happening in the clubhouse, but it certainly feels like every time that the Reds are within reach and able to push themselves over that kind of proverbial wall, they just run right smack into it instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, TJ Friedel was talking about how they saw that the Mets lost when they were in San Diego and they went out and won. So I don't know how much of it's all related. I just think tonight is a night you weren't able to come through. I mean, you got a lot of runners on base. You don't accidentally get 12 runners in a scoring position. There was something good that led to that, but he didn't bring anyone across. It just didn't happen tonight. I mean, I think the A's had 7 of the 8 furthest hit balls. So, I mean, I think the Reds had pretty decent at-bats to get a lot of runners on base, but they're just not a team that's built for their own ballpark or Sutter Health Park.
They're not built for any ballpark, Nick.
They look pretty good at Petco.
They're built for the 1980s. They're built for the 1980s when pitchers were throwing 92 miles an hour for their fastball with no velo, no spin rate info, none of that. And putting the ball in play could actually result in base hits. But instead, too much analytics nowadays. And quite frankly, the pitching is just too good to be able to rely on base hits and trying to string together enough hits to put together a rally. It just hasn't happened. Tonight, they put their leadoff man on 6 times and unable, obviously, to score them at all. Let's just get into the box score recap at this point, and then we'll go from there and figure out what's next for the Reds as we look ahead to the rest of the series and figure out what the Reds need to do to get, hopefully, back into this playoff race and maybe even into the playoffs before all things are said and done.
All right, Reds taking on the A's, game 1 of 3 at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. Reds with an opportunity to get to within a half game with a win, with the Mets losing their 7th straight game right before the Reds took the field. Brady Singer was pretty good over 6 innings. His only blemish, 2 solo bombs. Final line for Singer, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Chase Burns came in and relieved Brady Singer's first game since August 8th. Burns a little shaky at times, did give up a solo home run that made it 3-0 A's, but the Reds offense just could not come up with a hit with runners in scoring position. They go 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They leave 11 runners on base. JT Ginn danced around base runners all night. He ends up going 4 1/3, actually left the game injured. And you thought maybe the Reds could get something against an A's bullpen that's one of the worst in baseball. But the A's bullpen throws 4 2/3 shutout innings. The A's bullpen only walked 1 batter. Reds fall 3-0. Reds now 74-73. Reds remain a game and a half out of the final wildcard spot with 15 games to play.
And of course, Nick, no runs means no major league deep drive of the day. So we head down to Chattanooga. Cam Collier, his 4th home run of the season. We'll hear about more of it later on in the show, of course, but 5 for 5 tonight. He's hitting .388 with a .461 on base percentage over his last 23 games. No StatCast data down there in Chattanooga for this one. So don't know exactly how far it went or how hard it was hit, but we do know that it was the deep drive of the game. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Thanks as always to our friends at DSC. All right, Nick, you mentioned it. Honestly, the story of this game is the runners in scoring position. By the time it's all said and done, you look at the guys that they got on base, you look at the amount of at-bats and the amount of opportunities that they had. Mentioned it in the opening, left 11 men on base, 0 for 12 with the runners in scoring position. I mean, that's quite frankly just feels like that's been one of the main storylines of the season. You get on base to lead off an inning 6 different times. It just at the end of the day, the A's hit 3 home runs and the Reds hit none of them, and that's really what it comes down to.
I don't think hitting with runners in scoring position is anywhere close to any of the Reds' top problems. The Reds entered today 10th in baseball on average with runners in scoring position. I think the Reds' problem is, number 1, they don't get enough runners in scoring position, and I think number 2, they don't do damage with runners at all on base. I mean, it just makes it hard to score runs. I just like today was the worst case scenario in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position, and I think that's going to kind of be a point for. It's going to feel like it's a bigger issue, but it's not. I mean, teams just don't hit for a high average across baseball. It's down. The Reds hitting for average isn't even a problem. It's not. I think the Reds may rank right middle in the pack, and that's with, I think, a few even inflated players maybe over the course of the year. I mean, you look at, even a guy like that we've complained about, but Spencer Steer was, hit like 0.87 for a whole month. So I don't think getting on base is a problem for the Reds. I don't think hitting with runners in scoring position is a problem for the Reds. I just don't think they have enough power. That's not just home runs; it's extra base power. And it's hard to score runs in the game. It's the same thing we've seen all year.
Reds are 16th in Major League Baseball in batting average, coming in at 246 at this point. But 18th in OPS at 706 and 23rd in home runs hit. That comes in at 146 home runs on the season. At the end of the day, the extra base hits is the problem. If it's one thing for you to be hitting for base hits and for average, quote unquote, but like you said, you're not getting any damage that way. And you look at the teams that have the best records, and most of them are hitting the ball deep. And, unfortunately for this Reds team, that's just not the way they're built right now. And, you're putting out lineups that, quite frankly, most nights are not built to do that. And, we've had endless conversations about Will Benson and obviously Sal Stewart out of the lineup tonight. Gavin Lux is hitting second for the Reds tonight. Like, it's not a priority. It doesn't seem like. We know it's not a priority. And so the question becomes, what's next? And at some point, either hitting for average 246, you're getting a hit in every 4 at bats. How are you going to string together enough hits to be able to score runs? Most nights you're not. And that's what this Reds team has become. And whether you want to talk about runners in scoring position or doing damage with runners on base, whatever it is, Nick, at the end of the day, they're not scoring runs. And that's what's keeping this team from being successful, because the pitching has been pretty dang good. And Brady Singer, yet again tonight, gave them an opportunity to win a ball game, gives up 2 runs. Yeah, they're both solo home runs, but when you're talking about a pitcher who ultimately gives you a quality start, 6 innings of 2-run baseball, you should feel like you have a chance at winning that game. And it just felt like almost from the start, we talked about it before, You get the first 2 batters on base of the entire game with walks after the Mets just lost their game to the Rangers. And you're thinking, all right, here we go. And then you get a strikeout by Ellie De La Cruz on a chasing changeup that's down and away. You get the fielder's choice from Austin Hayes. That's a weak hit ground ball to third base. And then Tyler Stevenson grounds out. And you start to think, okay, here we go again. And it almost looked like the Reds players were in the same mindset. And then you come back out and you get the triple from Will Benson that should have been caught, but JJ Bleday loses it in the lights and can't find it. Benson is in there for a triple, learned his lesson from last time, not legging out hits, I guess. But then you go strikeout, can't get him in. All you had to do was put the ball in play at that point, and you couldn't do that. You get the next inning, you get TJ Friedl on base with a hit by pitch. Then you get Ellie De La Cruz, who's gifted a single by Jacob Wilson that could have or should have been an error. Austin Hayes strikes out. Tyler Stevenson grounds out yet again out of that inning without any damage. It's just the story over and over again. And by the time you got to the 4th inning, it just felt like it was over. And at that point, you go 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. You get gifted 2 free base runners in the 5th on walks. But the other 3 guys all outs. It just, I don't know. It just, you saw a little bit of pep in the 7th after Chase Burns came out. They get a little bit of going with TJ Friedl with the leadoff single. But then Andujar comes in and grounds into a double play. Austin Hayes comes out in the 8th, gets a base hit. Strikeout. After that, I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. You can see it on the team's face that they're frustrated. At some point, they just need, at least in my opinion, they need to just somehow break out for like a 10-run game and just go on a streak where they're finally confident at the plate. And once they get that confidence going, maybe we'll be able to see a little bit more. But right now, it doesn't feel like they have it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they felt pretty confident in San Diego. I don't know. I'm just not going to make too much out of one game. It's the same team we've seen all year, and your power is the problem. And Ellie De La Cruz right now, just for whatever reason, whatever it is, has absolutely nothing. It's completely zapped, and that just makes your biggest problem magnified to the 90th degree. And I don't know. This team, they fought. They've scratched their way back into this. Tonight sucked. You move on to the next night. That's how I look at it. Brady Singer continues to pitch like a top of the rotation arm. He has an even 2 ERA over his last 5 starts down the stretch. He's been fantastic. Good to see Chase Burns kind of getting his feet wet. I think this was a pretty good situation for him to get into, and I think he could be very valuable. Burns kind of got a little bit away with one, almost gave up a 3-run home run to his old pal Nick Kurtz that would have completely, flipped his line and made his day look completely different. But he got away with one there. But I'm excited to see Chase Burns get a chance to pitch again. I'm not going to make too much out of this game. I'm just thankful that the Mets lost. You move on to the next day. That's where I'm at. We've done this all year. I'm not gonna freak out about it. Like, I'm sorry.
I know you guys have talked at length about it, but I don't know that you and I have had a chance to really talk about it. So without going on an endless conversation about it, you just said Ellie's zapped. That was your words. I guess my question for you is, will there come a point where Tito is managing like the season is on the line and potentially evaluate the lineup in a way to try and be more aggressive, whether that means Ellie sits for a day, whether it means he moves down in the lineup? The problem I know is that you don't really have anybody to be at the top of the lineup, but like if he's zapped and he's giving you nothing, why does he continue to hit third?
I still think you're counting on him. And to Ellie De La Cruz's credit, he had 2 hard hit balls today. I think he had 6 hard hit balls combined the last 2 games. So he's the power has been, I don't know why he can't hit a home run. It makes no sense to me. The guy hit 19 home runs through July and hasn't hit a single one since. It's a strange thing. But I don't think he's playing terrible. I thought he had I thought he had some good swings. Even the one that wasn't a hard hit ball was a pretty good opposite field swing with a couple runners on base. That, I mean, man, it just goes a couple more feet to the left. You're talking about, Ellie De La Cruz had the huge hit of the night. So I don't know. I'm not worried about where Ellie De La Cruz batting. I think where Ellie De La Cruz bats in the lineup, it means so little to this team. What I will worry about is why Sal Stewart's not in the lineup. Why you're not putting a guy that actually gives you, I would have liked to have seen Sal Stewart get a couple cracks at JT Jen, Tyler Ferguson, Hogan Harris, Justin Sterner, and Sean Newcomb in a ballpark that has given up home runs at almost a rate of Coors Field this year. I would have certainly liked to see Sal Stewart. I enjoyed watching Will Benson actually hit a ball that was almost a home run, would have been a home run at Great American Ballpark. Those are the things that matter to me. Ellie De La Cruz batting first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You want to move him down to seventh. I don't think that matters all that much. And I don't think he's played terrible, at least the last 3 games. I think he's had some pretty good swings.
Okay. I guess at this point it doesn't really matter because Tito's not going to do anything about it. It's just frustrating to continue to watch it. But I agree with you wholeheartedly about Sal Stewart. The Reds put him on a graphic earlier today trying to get people pumped up for the series. And then the lineup comes out and he's not in it. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, Benson, Stewart, they should be playing every single day. Or at least, in Benson's perspective, at least every time there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound. If you want to tell me that Marte obviously should be the starter when there's a lefty, that's fine. But he gives you good defense. He hits for power. It was interesting. I don't know if you heard it on the broadcast because you typically listen to the radio, but they were talking about on the television broadcast that Tito actually was going to start him in the finale in San Diego as well, but the trainers are the ones that recommended they give Will Benson the day off after the injury the previous day. So found that interesting. Maybe Tito's going to give Benson a little run here. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to a Benson, Marte, and Friedel outfield, or even put Benson in center field and give Friedel a night off. But interesting nonetheless that Benson was slotted to start at least in that game on, what was it, Wednesday night.
It's almost like the problem is like Austin Hayes now has an 11-game hit streak. So like he's
Right.
played really well, but I still don't have faith that he's the guy versus right-handed pitching, especially batting fourth. And I'll give Tito a pass for this game playing Spencer Steer, because Steer did have a home run against the starter tonight, JT Jen. But if Sal would have played like all the other games before, I would have been, it's just his sporadic play. I don't understand. You need guys with some upside, I think, in this lineup. Especially, it feels like you should stack your lineup in this ballpark with guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And they just don't do it. I thought McClain had a really rough night tonight. I've really liked what McClain's done of late. I think he's looked a lot better, but he had a really rough night. Cabrian continues to swing a good bat, but again, he doesn't have a lot of pop. So it's just there's too many okay guys. Like Gavin Lux, he's been perfectly fine. Walked twice tonight, but there's just too many okay guys, Craig. It's just that guy's okay, that guy's okay, that guy's okay, that guy's okay. No one's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's an accurate representation. Let me ask you, I mean, you follow it closer than I do, so I don't want to sit here and read stats and act like I know. But I'm looking at Sal Stewart's splits from his career, and I'm looking at righty-lefty, and 2022 doesn't count because he didn't really play. He played 17 games. But you look at 2023, he hit 274 against lefties, 275 against righties. His OPS against righty was 823. You look at 2024, lefties, certainly better, 317 with a 1.129 OPS versus 268 with a 758 OPS. And then in 2025, this year at the minor league level, 308 against lefties with a 959 slugging, 300 against righties with an 870 OPS. And that was with 357 at bats against right-handed pitching. So he certainly got looks and was still hitting the heck out of the ball. I realized, to your point, that Spencer Steer had a home run against JT Ginn at some point, but like, at least to me, Sal Stewart's a better DH in this position than Gavin Lux. Is that just me?
Yeah, I think I don't really care who you give the night off, whether it's Lux, whether it's Hayes, whether it's Steer. One of those guys needs to be out of the lineup, and Sal Stewart needs to be in. Pick a name out of a hat. I don't really care. Like, Sal Stewart's a guy that needs to play.
Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned earlier.
When I say pick a name out of a hat, I actually mean go dig into every single advanced analytic and see which of and stack the three up, the two best you play. And there's that for every single game. I mean, it's not just righty-lefty. I mean, they have everything that spits out on, this guy's arm angle. Like, not even just like their pitch mix, like their arm angle, who will hit him most successfully. And that's what you should be going with right now, because there's just no one that's really that much better than any of the other ones outside of, I think, like Sal Stewart needs to play.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Brady Singer, again, gave you everything you needed to win a game. 6 innings, 2-run baseball. Chase Burns comes out of the bullpen. You mentioned, I thought he just looked a little rusty. Didn't go on a rehab stint at all. Came back from what was a little bit of a longer IL stint than I think I anticipated to begin with, Nick. Gave up the home run there in the 8th inning to lead off the inning to Carlos Cortez, his second of the night. I think at the end of the day, for me, Nick, at this point, I'm perfectly fine with him getting multiple innings out of the bullpen until we need him in the rotation. If we need him in the rotation, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that he's healthy for spring next year and ready to come in and be a top 3 starter in this rotation.
I don't have any issue with them, and they're gonna use him on set days, so like they're gonna know. Now I'm assuming like it was pretty obvious that I think he was gonna get used tonight because he was activated today, but I'm assuming going forward they're gonna try as much as possible to not give any sort of hints on when he's gonna pitch. Obviously it makes it more difficult on the opponent not knowing when he's gonna pitch. But I think it's gonna be I don't know if it'll be every 3 days, every 4 days, maybe even every 5 days. But even if that's it, even if they say, you know what, we're going to pitch him like a starter every 5th day for 2 innings, it's still going to help this team, I think. And again, you sent down 2 pitchers that really you were only pitching if you absolutely had to. You in no circumstance did you want to pitch, with all due respect, Lyon Richardson or Yasver Zulueta in any important inning. So with the extra roster spot, I think it's a great way to use it. Certainly, I'd love to see them used more, but like what you said, his health is the most important thing right now. I mean, the Reds are a team with a 10-something% chance of the playoffs, so Chase Burns' health far outweighs anything else.
100%. 100%. And on the other side of it, Brady Singer has been potentially the most consistent starting pitcher that this Reds rotation has had. I mean, it's hard to say really if you think about it, because Abbott was really good. He had a couple of rough starts, but he's been pretty good all year. Obviously, Hunter Green, when he's healthy, is lights out basically every time out. Every time he goes out there, I just feel like Brady Singer is so calm, cool, and collected, regardless of what happens in the game. He's just got that mentality that he's just pitching, just hanging out. I'm out here on the mound. Like, I never get any sort of like real fire out of him or anything, but he gets the job done, and he gives you a quality start nearly every time. He leads the Reds in quality starts now, I think, with 15.
Yeah, I love Brady Singer. I'm a huge fan of him. And not just because he's pitched really over the team. I think he's a good dude. Again, I'm a guy who watches all these post-game interviews partially because we put them into the podcast and we clip them up for social media and whatnot. He's a very certain guys when they do interviews, when they go out of their way every single time to try to give credit to their teammates, that to me is just something that I appreciate. And he does it every single time. Every single time he has a good start. Tyler Stevenson, man, he just called a great game tonight, man. He was on it the whole night. Like Trevino, man, he was just so good. And if the offense picked him up, he'd talk about that. And I don't know, I just think he's a good dude. I think he's a good teammate, but more important than anything, he's pitched really, really well for our Reds, and that was a hell of a trade, and the Reds still have him next year. And I don't think when the Reds acquired Singer, I really valued the 2026 season out of Singer that much. Like, I thought it was, this is a nice move for this season. But, man, having that guy still under cost control for one more year, and let's not forget, if Singer repeats this year, next year, he for sure is a guy you could qualifying offer, because that's the going rate for a starting pitcher of that. Remember, Frankie Montas got $18 million this year. So, yeah, I mean, you could potentially qualify offer him. He could maybe accept it. He'll kind of be in that range. Maybe you turn that into a draft pick. I mean, think about this. Let's dream a little bit here, Craig. Let's dream a little bit. We trade Jonathan India, who, might get non-tendered by the Royals this offseason. That's not a joke. Like, legitimately, there's been conversations he may get non-tendered by the Royals this offseason. We get 2 great years out of Brady Singer, and then we might be able to also, on top of that, get a draft pick. And are those draft picks important? Yes, they are, because you know who was that draft pick? Sal Stewart was that draft pick.
All right. All of that is great. Is there a world where you look at a contract extension for Brady Singer this offseason and you don't even let him get to unrestricted free agency in 2027?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be very team-friendly, but I think Singer's probably the kind of pitcher that's open to that, just because of, of his age. He doesn't have the dominant stuff. Yeah, I'd absolutely be open to it, but, I mean, I'd have to be getting a hell of a bargain from him. I'd have to be kind of capitalizing on him wanting to get some stability and set himself up better long term. But yeah, I mean, if he's open to a contract extension that's not too crazy into the years, that's not too financially deterrent, yeah, I'm all for it.
What does that mean to you? What kind of a deal intrigues you? What would be your opening offer to Brady?
What did Lugo get? Like 3 years, $40 million. That's probably 3 years, $45 million. Yeah, that was Seth Lugo. That maybe a little bit less than that. I think Lugo pitched a little bit better than Singer. But yeah, Singer's going to make over $10 million next year already. So you're already paying him 10. So I don't know. Maybe we could just do like 4 for 50, and you're already paying 10, 12 already for one. So then it's about like that 3 year, maybe $35 million or something like that. Yeah, that's probably about what I would be looking at. Nothing more than that.
Singer turned 29 just last month on August 4th. He's making $8.75 million this year, and to Nick's point, I think he clears $10 million next year in arbitration if they do go that far. So
might be higher. Might be higher than that. Might be.
Well, I think he clears $10 million. What that means,
he
whether
might
it's
be
10, whether it's 12, whether it's 14, I don't know. But
I think it'll be closer to 15 than 10. I think it'll be. I don't know everything about arbitration and all the ins and outs, but I think he's going to get a big pay raise, because I think the numbers that he put up this season are going to be more valued in terms of arbitration and free agency than maybe even the general fan might think.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know exactly where that'll land, but we'll definitely be monitoring it and see how that goes, because he is a guy that has given you a ton this year and seems to be a steady presence in the dugout, on the mound, all the above. And I know he gave up the 2 home runs tonight, but as a guy whose stuff seems to play well in Great American Ballpark. So This will be back-to-back years now with a ERA under 4. I'm excited for him. I hope that we can find a way to keep him around moving forward. Any final thoughts on Singer or Burns?
Nope.
Okay. For those of you following along at home, the Giants got a 10th inning Patrick Bailey grand slam to walk off the Los Angeles Dodgers in 10. They win 5-1. Giants now 1 game ahead of the Reds in the standings, only a half game behind the New York Mets. And we want to take a chance now to remind you to call or text 988. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. And Nick, we do have one super chat I saw that came in from Noah Downing, a $10 super chat. These offensive players don't deserve a postseason appearance. If that makes me a horrible fan, so be it. I don't care.
Mets probably feel the same way about their pitching not deserving a postseason experience. So
valid. Oh man. All right. Any final thoughts on tonight before we move on to some excitement down in MILB?
Nope. Flush it. Move on to tomorrow.
All right. Where do you want to start with MILB?
Oh, we got to start with our Daytona Tortugas, Craig. Our Tortugs. The Tugs.
Start them off with the Tortugas. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Daytona Tortugas 2-0 winners over St. Lucie. They advanced to the Florida State League Championship for the first time since 2018. They win back-to-back elimination games. After dropping game 1 at home, they rally for 2 wins at St. Lucie. Shout out to the Tortugas. How about they held St. Lucie to 2 hits in the game? And the game was started off by Mason Morris, Reds' third-round pick this year. Only his 3rd professional start, and he threw 3 no-hit innings, walked 1 batter, 2 strikeouts. Also made a really great play on the mound as well. So shout out to Mason Morris. Alfredo Duno, who full-on celebration. He was fired up at the end of the game. You love to see it. On base 3 times, just doing what Alfredo Duno does. 1 for 3 with 2 walks and a stolen base. Duno, a guy that has been at Daytona for a long time. I think a lot of people want him to get promoted, but it was cool to see him get to be the leader that led Daytona to a postseason series win, and what will, I'm sure, be his final games with the Tortugas. So that was great to see. Tyson Lewis is 0 for 4, did steal a base. Arnaldo Lantigua 1 for 2 with a walk. Mason Neville on base twice, 1 for 3 with a walk. But the big bat of the day came from Alfredo Alcantara, 2 for 4, hit his 9th overall home run of the season. This guy started the season down in the ACL, but he's had a really good year, hit .295, .442 on base percentage in the regular season. And then Kyle Henley stole 2 more bases. That guy steals a lot of bases. Shout out to him. All right, down to AAA, Louisville Bats, they fall 12-4 to Toledo. The Bats have lost 2 straight, but still have won 15 out of their last 18 games, looking to finish the year strong. Another tough start for Chase Petty. He was really good the last time out, but really struggled tonight. 3 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs. Petty now with a 5.82 ERA, whip over 1.5 now in 25 starts this season. Luis May did give up 1 earned run, a couple more unearned runs in his inning of work. Didn't walk anyone, though, struck out 2 batters. Sam Mole continues to pitch really well. Perfect inning for him with a strikeout. So far, 5 games since he got optioned. 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts. Resigns 2 for 4. Hector Rodriguez 0 for 4. He's been scuffling of late. Blake Dunn 1 for 5. And CES got the evening off. And last but not least, the Chattanooga Lookouts, they won 9-4 over Rocket City Lookouts now just 2 more regular season games left before they start the postseason on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Lookouts have won 4 straight, 72-60, so playing some good baseball heading into the postseason. Massive night for Cam Collier, 5 for 5 at his 4th home run of the year, also doubled, drove in 6 runs. And Collier, he's playing very well of late, hitting .388, .461 on base percentage over his last 23 games. Collier has just been a streaky guy so far in his professional career. Started this season great, then got ice cold, but finishing strong. I'm still a Cam Collier believer. He's still one of the youngest players in the Southern League. Edwin Arroyo, another guy hitting well, 2 for 5. He's hitting .306 over his last 57 games. Good night for Leo Balcazar, 3 for 5. Ruben Ibarra hit his 20th home run of the year. He had 2 home runs. Ibarra only hitting .235 on the year, but 20 home runs now in 102 games. And Trevor Kunsel, recent Arizona Fall League roster addition, threw a perfect inning with 2 strikeouts, continuing his great year in relief, 2.34 ERA in 50 innings this season. So there you go. There is your Reds MILB. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how Trevor Kunsel does against, I wouldn't say better competition, probably be about the same overall level because there'll be some guys younger, some guys older. But against some of the top guys, kind of just maybe get a taste and see if he can be a guy that maybe can be a option for the Reds at some point next year as a reliever.
Yeah, interesting. I have 2 questions for you, Nick.
All right. Oh, I
2
like
questions.
I don't usually get
First
questions
one,
about MILB, so I like it.
I know. They're opinionated questions, so we'll
All
see
right.
how you feel about it.
All right.
Do you know, obviously you mentioned been at Daytona for a while. He's still only 19 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Where does he finish 2026? Not just where does he start? Where does he finish?
I would bet a lot of money he's still at Dayton. I mean, the Reds are pretty slow moving their catchers up. And they were with Tyler Stevenson, too. So it's not... And Tyler Stevenson, just like Duno, dealt with a lot of injuries. Duno's dealt with a lot of injuries. And I think the game calling is probably the one thing that the Reds want to see a little bit of improvement on. And I'm not saying it's like atrocious or anything like that. But I think they want to see a little bit more improvement. So I'm pretty confident he'll start at Dayton next year, probably end at Dayton. If he ends the year not at Dayton, or if he ends the year higher than Dayton, that means he's probably a top 20 prospect in the sport, which would be great. But yeah, I mean, like if he ends the year higher than Dayton, like you're going to see him skyrocket on every prospect board. Because I will say this, he is the Reds prospect, and Rhett Lauder is still considered a prospect. He's the Reds prospect with the highest ceiling, and I don't think it's remotely close.
Wow.
Unless Sheng and Lin can really figure out the hitting.
Were you surprised that Sheng and Lin didn't start the game tonight?
I don't know, man. They have kid gloved my guy Sheng and Lin for 2 years. So maybe in the
they're
championship.
saving them for the championship series.
Yeah.
All right, second question for you, Nick. Last year, I think you were actually at a Lake County Captains game when this happened, but Trace asked us for 4 names of players that were going to debut with the Reds Major League squad by the end of 2026.
Okay. I don't remember who I said. I bet I said Ethan O'Donnell.
No.
Oh, I didn't? Okay, good. No. My guy Ethan's had a rough year.
Who you did say, though, and you had a couple that were quote-unquote no-brainers, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no.
The Zach Maxwell.
Oh, ding, ding,
check.
ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Jace Burns.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. And then I don't remember the third, but the last piece of
I'm sure it was Sal Stewart.
Oh, it was Sal Stewart. You're right. That's what jogged my memory because I looked at this when Sal Stewart got called up. So it was Sal Stewart who ding, ding, ding. So your 4th name, and this was, according to Trace at least, if we got this right, and by we, I mean you, because you gave all 4 names. But if we got this right, he was going to pay each of us $500. The last name that you gave to debut by the end of 2026 for the Cincinnati Reds was Cam Collier. As we sit here on September 13th of 2025, Do you still believe we see Cam Collier in the major leagues by the end of next year, and that includes September call-ups?
I'd say let's not go spend that $500 yet. I'm not. It's not impossible. I think it's probably as likely as Sal Stewart making the big leagues this year, which coming into the year was probably not likely. So he would have to have that kind of year. Maybe not as good just because he has been in the minor leagues a little bit longer, but he would have to play incredible. I assume, I'm pretty confident he starts the year again at Double-A. He's going to have to hit really well at Double-A to get called up to Triple-A. But, it's not impossible. I put it at 38.7% likelihood.
It's a very specific percent likelihood, Nick. Am I remembering right? Is he going to the Arizona Fall League?
Yes, he is. Yeah. He missed a lot of time this year. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Collier, Leo Balcazar. Excited to see both of those guys.
And Duno, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Duno. I'm surprised Duno's going. But he did miss some time this year.
His injuries and stuff, yeah.
And maybe curious thing about Duno is I wonder if there's I don't know the ins and outs. This would be a great question. Like if we had Jack McMullen or one of the guys that like does the Arizona Fall League, they're like special like catching instructors like on any of these teams, because they're kind of like a conglomerate of different teams and they kind of work together to build this. Is there someone that was like going to help mentor Duno? Is that kind of what the Reds are hoping out of this Arizona Fall League experience?
I don't know. Let's see if he has a great fall. All right. More baseball to come tomorrow, Nick. Reds and A's. Do I call them the Sacramento A's? The Oakland A's?
Just the Athletics.
Just the Athletics. All right.
Athletics,
well, Reds and Athletics back at it tomorrow, Nick. What do you got?
Well, we got Hunter Green on the mound, so that's always a good thing. 10:05 start time once again. Green, 5 starts is coming off the IL, has a 2.35 ERA. How about 40 strikeouts and 5 walks in 30 2/3 innings pitched? Only made 1 career start against the A's, was back in 2023. 5 innings, 0 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. Only 2 active A's hitters, though, have faced him, and they have not done well. J.J. Bleday is 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, and Brent Rooker 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. For the A's, they're going with Luis Severino. Sevy, as he's called, signed a 3-year, $67 million contract with the Athletics, the largest contract in team history this offseason. It's been a rocky season for him. He has really struggled at the minor league ballpark for the A's. At home this year, 1-9 with a 6.34 ERA, but on the road he's 5-2 with a 3.110 ERA. So we're happy that it is a home game for Severino. Now, Severino, his last 5 starts has been very good. 3-0 with a 2.89 ERA, 30 strikeouts, just 6 walks in 28 innings, and he's only allowed 1 home run over his last 5 starts. Severino will throw up to 6 different pitches, mostly a 4-seamer, sweeper, and slider, and cutter, occasionally a changeup and a slider. Fastball still averages 96, and batters hitting under 200 against his sweeper. Now, Severino's 1-0 with a 2.49 ERA in 5 career starts against the Reds. Last 2 years has been very good against the Reds, really dominated them. And the active Reds are just 8 for 47. Spencer Steers 2 for 7. Brian Hayes 1 for 7. Benson's 1 for 6. Ellie 1 for 4. Austin Hayes 0 for 4. Marte 1 for 3. And then a whole bunch of other 0-fers. So I think Hunter Green against Luis Severino, that should be a good matchup. Hopefully a guy the Reds can get out of the park. But he's been one of the A's pitchers that has actually not given up a ton of home runs this year. So
knock on wood. Mike Hart will be joining me after the game tomorrow night to break it all down for you. Hopefully a winning edition of Chatterbox Reds, because I got lucky that one weekend, Nick, where I had the 2 comeback wins against the Brewers. And then ever since that, it just feels like pounded. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a winning edition tomorrow with Hunter Green on the mound. Nick, any final words before you head off for paternity leave?
No, looking forward to coming back last week of the season, and hopefully our Reds are still in a playoff chase. If not, well, I didn't expect them to be anyway, so let's go.
All right. We're looking forward to meeting Ichiro Kano Kirby soon. In the meantime, this has been Chatterbox Reds. We love y'all. Go Reds.